Let's go over what's happened so far with Democratic Senator Claire McCaskill of Missouri, obviously a supporter of Hillary Clinton, as we've established in previous episodes. Senator, good to see you. Congratulations on the Royals so far.
Thank you.
So let's talk specifically about some of the points that I think the Republicans have made that still are interesting, and I want to get your thoughts on them. Let's talk about Congressman Peter Roskam, who has made a big point about talking about the grander, the larger picture of Libya and what a disaster, in his view, the administration's policy has been, and how Secretary of State Clinton was the architect of the policy. Take a listen to this.
Well, Congressman, I think it's important to point out there were many in the State Department who believed it was very much in America's interests and in furtherance of our values to protect the Libyan people.
You summed it up best when you emailed your senior staff and you said of this interchange, you said it's good to remind ourselves and the rest of the world that this couldn't have happened without us. And you were right, Secretary Clinton. Our Libya policy couldn't have happened without you because you were its chief architect.
A fair hit, you think?
I think that what you're seeing all day long are Republicans trying to fit the facts into their narrative. And the facts don't fit. They just don't fit. And it's awkward to watch them try to force the facts around some notion that she was unengaged, that she didn't care, that she was cavalier, that she wasn't involved, that she wasn't knowledgeable. I think she has done a remarkable job under very difficult circumstances of being very calm and collected and showing how engaged and knowledgeable she was, and that everyone was doing their best in a very difficult, dangerous part of the world.
Well, I think it's fair to say that she was engaged, but I think one of the questions that has been out there for years now is whether or not she was sufficiently engaged in the security requests being made by individuals, including Ambassador Stevens. I know that she has instituted, when she was Secretary of State, recommendations from the Accountability Review Board. But do you know why all those requests were rejected? Do you, as a sitting United States Senator, have any better idea of why Chris Stevens and others didn't get the security they asked for?
Well, I think the point she's tried to make, and I think she's done it well, is that in her job, it's important to rely on security experts, because requests come in from around the world, especially now, in a dangerous and complicated world where we have enemies literally in every country in the world because of the nature of the extreme movement of terrorism around the globe. So all of these requests come in, and you have to have experts who evaluate them and rank the risk and decide where they should move and where they can't move based on the limitations of the budget they were given. And keep in mind, this is a Secretary of State that prior to the tragedy in Benghazi was asking for more funding for embassy security. I mean, as you remember, we had a scandal around the embassy security in Kabul, where they were having to contract with third world countries for security instead of using the Marines. So this is an ongoing problem, and she was relying on the trusted experts to weigh the various requests and then make recommendations, which of course she acted on.
Congressman Jim Jordan of Ohio honed in on the issue of why the Obama administration blamed this anti-Muslim video on the attacks when it seemed clear and based on contemporaneous notes by Clinton's aides, she knew as early as September 12th that it was a terrorist attack. Take a listen to Congressman Jordan.
Seems to me that night you had three options, Secretary. You could tell the truth, like you did with your family, like you did with the Libyan president, like you did with the Egyptian prime minister. Tell him it was a terrorist attack. You could say, you know what, we're not quite sure. Don't really know for sure. I don't think the evidence is there. I think it's all in the first one, but you could have done that. But you picked a third option. You picked the video narrative. You picked the one with no evidence, and you did it because Libya was supposed to be, as Mr. Roskam pointed out, this great success story for the Obama White House and the Clinton State Department.
Senator McCaskill, do you think it's possible that the administration and that Clinton specifically went with the video narrative, not only because that was what some of the information was saying, even though certainly not all of the information, but also because she was trying to be a good soldier. The Obama administration, President Obama, was in the middle of a tough re-election campaign, was just days away. Mitt Romney was hammering him, and Obama was out there saying that Al-Qaeda was on the run. In other words, is she being tagged because the Obama administration and President Obama made her go with the video narrative?
I think that's not fair. There was conflicting information. There were, in fact, embassy breaches around the area because of the video. The video was very much within the vernacular of dangerous activity that was going on in that neighborhood. And there was different information. And in fact, one of the people who were arrested for this, in fact, cited the video as part of their motivation. So I think this is once again, and by the way, can I just point out, is there anything new here? I think this is the 32nd hearing. We have 11 published reports. We have 8 different committees who have investigated. And have we really heard anything new today other than Sid Blumenthal wanted to tell her a lot of stuff, which she was not asking for, he was just offering? And that's what's frustrating, I think, to those of us who see this as such a brazen political exercise. Marco Rubio is raising money off this today for President of the United States. Stand with Trey Gowdy. He sent out his email today. That's just politics, Jake, and that's what this is. And I thought one of the most powerful moments that Secretary Clinton had was when she said, when we've had these tragedies before, it has not been political. It has been bipartisan, Democrats and Republicans coming together to try to make these embassies more secure and to make our diplomats more safe. This is, I think, an outrage and a waste of taxpayers' money.
Senator Claire McCaskill of Missouri, thank you so much.